All right, welcome. Here we are, twice in one day. I was feeling ambitious. This is a 3-day weekend for me, so it's Friday. Got home a little early from work. Did that short flight from Cedar City up to Salt Lake. I figured, you know what? I want to get to Coeur d'Alene. So had a little lunch there in Salt Lake at the airport, and then hopped back in the TBM, back into my Day 3 Whiskey Bravo, and headed up and out to Coeur d'Alene.
Delta 3 Whiskey Bravo, you are 90 miles southeast. Descend and maintain flight level 180. Expect ILS runway 6 approach via Poby transition. Clear to Poby.
I'm to flight level 180 near the Whiskey Bravo. We'll expect Poby.
Delta 3 Whiskey Bravo, you are 90 miles southeast of Kilo Charlie Oscar Echo.
Let's acknowledge the AI.
Delta 3 Whiskey Bravo.
Oh, interesting. This is interesting. ATC was acting squirrely. It was not automated. I don't know what was going on. I was tinkering with this and that may have been a part of it. But anyway, did you notice what just happened? We were just handed off to KCOE, which is the initials for Coeur d'Alene, Kilo Charlie Oscar Echo. We were just handed off to the CTAF frequency, the Unicom frequency. So I guess that means we're on our own. We're on our own. This is very interesting. Let's get our automated weather and see how it looks.
Kilo Charlie Oscar Echo automated weather observation 0100 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility tree. Sky condition. Few clouds at 1,000 feet. Few clouds at 4,700 feet. Few clouds at 11,900.
Temperature looks great. 11.
Temperature 11C dew point. 10C altimeter.
Altimeter 2984. So we'll just announce our position.
Kilo Charlie Oscar Echo traffic.
Even though we're a long way out.
Fort Drake Whiskey Bravo 82 miles southeast inbound ILS runway 6.
This is very interesting. I'm almost wondering if I touched on this. I'm sorry. Look at this sunset. Oh, there's the sun. I almost wonder if that little ATC bug. I've been sort of spoiled because I've been handling the. I've been letting the AI handle the ATC, but it's left me kind of in the lurch sometimes, wondering, well, what just happened? Why did this happen? Who's talking to me? Is anybody talking to me? Now, when it's not automated, you saw it just serendipitously. We got that message that we were just handed off. We're off the center frequency and on our own again, second time in one day, into an uncontrolled airport. What this basically means, as far as I'm concerned, is that all we need to manage is our altitude, our descent. We're not going to get guidance on managing our descent, but we are flying into an island. By the way, lots of chop on this flight. Moderate turbulence the whole way up, and a lot of headwind. Look at this, you see? 35, 36 knot headwind. It's added some time to our flight. It's been about an hour and a half, though. Hour and 40 minutes. Anyway, I pulled up the approach plates for runway 06 at Coeur d'Alene, Pappy Boyington International. ILS frequency is 110.7, so let's go ahead and put that in real fast. Navcom, audio and radios, Nav1, 110.7, activate. Okay, 110.7, confirm. Okay, switch this over to bearing 1, Nav1, no data, again, to be expected. We're still pretty far from the airport. I actually think I saw 115.5 as the frequency for the VOR DME for Spokane. which is surprisingly close to Coeur d'Alene. I didn't realize. Anyway, let's go ahead and add that just so we get a little point of reference. 115.5. Switch this over to bearing 2, nav 2. There you go. 76.3 nautical miles, not from the airport, but from Spokane, which is west of the airport. In any case, hold up the approach plate for this runway 06. Aircraft elevation airport elevation 2320. So the airport's at 2,320 feet. Runway 06, as I said, it's a long runway too. It's like 7,200 feet, if I recall. We need to be at 5,600 feet at our initial approach fix of POBY, P-O-B-I-Y. Then 4,500 feet at the next waypoint after POBY, which is CIPUT, C-I-P-U-T. So that gives us a lot of helpful information. However, we are leveling out now, since we were only cleared down to 18,000. Once we go below 18,000, we'll be VFR. Luckily, weather like this. We know that our next waypoint is CIPUT. I'd rather have it be POBY, but apparently the sim loaded it up to the, not the IAF, the initial approach fix. That's interesting. Anyway, we can handle it. We are 12 minutes away. So again, this is back where we do the math, right? We're 12 minutes from CIPUT. We're 17,000 feet. We need to be at 4,500 feet at CIPUT. We're descending at 1,800 feet per minute. We're 12 minutes away. Do the math quickly. We're way fine. If we keep descending at this altitude, at this rate, we'll be descending too quickly. Knowing that we're 12 minutes away, if we descend at 1,000 feet per minute, then that means we'll be 12,000 feet lower than we are now. We're at 16,500 feet. Minus 12,000 feet puts us at 4,500 feet, which happily enough happens to be the exact altitude we need to be at CIPUT when we get there. If I could press the B key, I'd show you all this on the map, but I don't have it. So, this is a wider range view of the approach that we'll be taking. Like this, right turn to runway 06. So I think this is my first time handling an approach and descent without any guidance from ATC. To shallow out our descent rate a little more, but increase our speed to try to stay on that 11. We were at 12 minutes, and again, I think I've mentioned this before. You see how it stopped moving the clock? You have not entered the twilight zone. What's happened is we were slowing down at a rate that made it unable to compute the distance between us, and that is how long it would take us to get from where we are to our next waypoint. At least unable to compute that quickly. So we know we need to be at 4,500 feet. That's the waypoint CIPUT, C-I-P-U-T. POBIY is actually on our flight plan. Huh, this is interesting. I was just looking at my notes here. I did program POBIY into our flight plan. Well, in any event, it's not a problem. Look at that sunset. My goodness gracious. Let's go ahead and program our minimums in. Barometric minimums, which is how high above sea level, versus radio altimeter, which is how high above ground. Barometric minimums in this approach are 2,860 feet. enter that. So looking good. Now showing 9 minutes, 50 seconds. Descending at 800 feet per minute. 800 feet per minute. Let's go ahead and say we're just 10 minutes away. Better to be conservative. 10 minutes at 800 feet is 8,000 feet off of where we are. We're at 13,900 feet, so you do the math. That puts us at about 6,000, so we need to increase our descent range. This is descent management without ATC assistance. I've done descent management in several of my videos, lots of my videos, since almost all of my videos are approaches and landings. But normally the descent management I do is because I can't trust ATC. Here I'm actually having to do it on my own. Like literally on my own. I'm completely alone up here. There is no tower at this airport.
Kilo Charlie Oscar Echo traffic Dr. November Tree 4 Tree Whiskey Bravo 4
Just
miles
like
south
the
inbound
airport we
ILS
just
runway
landed
6.
at. So that means it's incumbent upon the pilot to announce his position or her position so that others in the area on the same frequency will know who is where. Anyway, you'll see we still are receiving distance information from the Golf Echo Golf VORDME at Spokane. We're 49 miles, 48.8 nautical miles from Spokane. Still no data on the ILS frequency, which I completely expect. I would expect to see ILS information as we get closer. Showing now 8 minutes from CFIT, CIPUT. That's our next waypoint. And interesting. Just checking something. I'm just curious. This here is showing distance 39 miles. This is showing distance 31 miles. Interesting. Well, in any event, it's not a problem that's going to hamstring our approach or anything. I looked at the terrain map on this approach, and as you can see, it's pretty tame. We're not doing any. It's a different story farther out to the east, but we're not doing any buzzing of mountaintops. We're at 11,300. We are about 7 minutes from our next waypoint. Remember, we need to be at 4,500 feet at CFIT, CIPUT. We're 27 miles from CFIT. Although I am getting some inconsistent information here. That's showing 34 nautical miles. The good news is, once we get ready to turn right to final, we'll have ILS information, which will dramatically simplify our approach. Had a little thunderstorm activity climbing out of Salt Lake this afternoon. Did not have any thunderstorm activity on the way in, but did on the climb out, which was about an hour and a half later. Continues slowing, showing us about 15 minutes from our destination. Continuing a 1,200 foot per minute descent with a lot of chop. I'm going to shallow that out slightly to 1,000 feet per minute. Again, knowing that we are 5 minutes from CFIT, and knowing we need to be no lower than 4,500 feet. Well, 5 times 1,000 feet per minute is 5,000 feet. We're at 9,500 feet. That basically puts us pretty spot on, but playing this pretty conservatively right now. But again, the guesswork will be taken out of it once we turn right and the ILS we intercept the ILS localizer. Go ahead and activate our inertial separator at this point. And our landing lights. Kind of an interesting feature there. I don't know what to make of that, those strange lines. That might be a rain curtain, but it might just be a bad rendering. Coming up on our right turn, you can see right here, that's Spokane, KSKA. This is Spokane, Washington. Still dealing with some winds, 20 knots from the north-northwest. Knowledge master caution on the inertial separator warning. Altimeter's currently set at 2986. Set this one there as well. Just breathtaking. I think I see our airport. Very good. Altitude management seems steady, solid. Still waiting for ILS info. It is now receiving ICOE. I don't know if this will be another situation where we're not getting distance information. That's strange that that's happened 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row where I used ILS approaches, I'm not getting distance information where I used to get distance information. It's a patch issue. Well, let's see if we're receiving. First of all, let's switch this to sync to heading. Switch to heading. Switch this to nav 1. And switch this back to nav, and it'll start to handle our turn. Switch half bank. Don't need such sharp turns when people get sick. There's CFIT. See that? So my hunch is the lack of congruity that we noticed between the distance here, 11.2, and the distance here, 20 nautical miles, is explained by the fact that the waypoint that I had put in there, POBIY, was actually still functioning to affect this display. I don't know why we're headed this way, though. I think this is strange. I'm going to take the initiative here. It was turning too steeply. You see what it's doing? Why was I turning this way? It's all right. We're okay. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. Nav 1. Nav. Interesting. Well, what we don't want to do is end up inadvertently stopping our descent. So we'll set our altitude right now at our minimums of 2860. I'm just going to set it at 2900. Here's the airport. We do have glide slope information now. This is encouraging. I don't know what that weird thing was that happened when I pressed the nav button before and it started turning this way. I'm not sure what that was all about. But right now, we're showing glide slope information showing us beneath the glide slope. I don't know, I'll have to check the forums. ILS has been acting kind of squirrely the last 2 days. 5,100 feet. Radio altimeter 2,100 feet. That's how high we are above the ground. Should expect a right turn here in a few moments. There's the airport. Headed towards CFIT right here. And again, at that waypoint, we need to be at 4,500. And since we are at 4,600 now, I'm going to shallow out our descent rate rather dramatically. This turned out to be a more interesting challenge than I was expecting. So far, everything looks okay. Here's us. Here's the airport. Go like this. Right turn. The only question I have is whether it intercepts. My only concern right now that I'm having is that I'm seeing some terrain. So, I'm gonna... Whoa, what's this? Deactivate autopilot. I don't know if you saw what I saw, but on the PFD, I saw terrain that appeared to be in front of us in a way that I deemed to be unsafe. I couldn't actually see the terrain itself, but I saw it on the simulated visualization, and I also noticed it. If you watch this again on the MFD, or on the replay on the MFD, when I zoomed in, I noticed this hard to make out, but it looked like some elevation. So anyway, we've initiated kind of an emergency climb there. I'm going to announce that we're on base right now, which we are.
Kilo Charlie Oscar Echo traffic November November Tree 4 Tree Whiskey Bravo is on base runway 6.
That got my that got my palms kind of sweaty, my friends. I got to be honest. I fly with no filter. If I crash into a mountain, you're going to be right there for it to happen. And I love this airplane, so I don't want to crash into a mountain. Anyway, we're control the airplane. We're going to just head towards that magenta line there. 5,600 feet, holding steady. I don't know for sure, but I think that may have been the closest call I've had in 3 Whiskey Bravo. And that's no fun. Anyway, let's slow down now. Hold our altitude here. This will be fun to check this out again in daylight. Kind of get an idea of just how close we came to disaster there. The perils of nighttime approaches in mountainous areas without air traffic control. Looking at our glide slope information, the G. Looking good. Looking at the CDI, this green needle here will move here momentarily. And we want to intercept the localizer at about a 30-degree angle, so start our right turn and resume our descent. And you see that green line's moving, and there's the runway.
Landing gear.
Right on schedule. I'm hand flying this one, boys and girls. Going old school. Get our airspeed down a little more. We'll deploy our flaps. I wish I could replay that in daylight and see just how close I came to disaster. I just pulled up a terrain map of the area. And I think that we may have come close to a very serious situation. Because if you know this area, which I don't, but I'm looking at the map, immediately to the southwest of this airport is terrain. So, yowzers. Anyway, for now, everything looks good. I can see the Vossies from here, or the Poppies rather, already seeing what appears to me to be 2 whites, 2 reds. And I'm monitoring our green diamond there, the glide slope. Actually, autopilot is disengaged, but we do have the glide slope. If I were to re-engage the autopilot, it would grab it. But I'm going to handle this myself. Got our landing lights already on, yeah. And 3 in the green on the, yes, 3 in the green on the wheel, on the undercarriage. That airspeed, still waiting to get that damned airspeed down. Man, this TBM is like a frickin' rocket. There we go. Okay, flaps 1. Flaps 2. Wind's not bad, 2 knots from the southeast. Airspeed slipping a little low. But we're lined up. Confirm compass heading 056. Matches up with our runway heading 06. Boy, I'm going to watch and rewatch that. See just how close we came to catastrophe. Man, I would have been crushed. The end of 3 Whiskey Bravo. That's called CFIT, Controlled Flight into Terrain, and it is a pilot killer. It's no joke. It's an aircraft that's under perfectly normal operating circumstances and conditions, and get yourself into a situation, and loss of spatial awareness, not paying attention to indicators and cues, and, well, fly into a mountain. Very sad. You see on our MFD there, the center screen there of the 3. 2 mile final, 06, confirmed. You can actually see our airplane there, approaching KCOE, which is the call sign for this airport. Still monitoring the green diamond, showing 2 whites, 2 reds. Spot on the 3-degree glide slope. Airspeed's 82. Be a little bit faster, by about 85 is ideal on this airplane. .500 AGL. Confirm and reconfirm. Wheels down. The day you land with no gear is the day you really feel bad. 85 knots, spot on. Two whites, 2 reds. Full flaps deployed. Your speed's good, 83. Still 2 whites, 2 reds in the poppies. Nice long runway. Very good. You ready for idle? Idle. Good. Nice, smooth landing. Way better than crashing into a mountain. Now we're not going to have any tower guidance on this, so we're going to go to our combination of our ForeFlight app and also the MFD screen. And I see that we're going to go to the end here and turn right. Okay, wow, well, that was an adventure, huh, folks? Zoom in here just so we get a diagram of the airport. Okay. Clean up the airplane while we're thinking about it. You can see where we are. We're going to go over here. There's a lot of aids in a situation like this. You have the visual representation of the runway right here on the PFD, even though you can't see anything.
Approaching runway 20.
And we're looking good. So,
Enter runway 20, 4,900 feet remaining.
Let's turn and follow. Again, I'm looking at the PFD screen. The one on the left here. And actually a duplicate one on the right. Because I can't see squat. There, you see? Nailed it. We're just rolling over here. Man, it is dark. Holy mackerel. Actually, turn this way. Just follow this arc. Try not to hit that antenna on the right. And that's that. Okay. Wow. Okay, this approach took years off my life. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Well, hey, but you know what? We're on the ground, and we're safe. Parking brake. Engine idle and cut off. Man, I gotta tell you, this... For a game that doesn't involve me doing much of anything physically, I mean, even the movements...
Aural warning, okay.
Even the movements in which I engage. You know, there's some games where you're like moving around and you're yanking the stick left and you're moving this and this... I don't do anything dramatic when it comes to harsh movements in this game. And yet, I am telling you that after that little spectacle, I'm kind of tired, like freaking out. That was intense. I tried to stay calm for the video recording, but that was freaking intense. And I don't know. I didn't want to quite sound like I was panicking, because panicking is never good. But I had an immediate realization of the danger that I believed the aircraft was in. So anyway, that's it for now. It's a nice night, beautiful night, 17 degrees out, beautiful sunset. Go outside for just a quick second. Look, can't really see anything, but that's it. That's that. Ciao.